Hello North Country and welcome to Beekmantown as Hometown Cable once again brings you Champlain Valley Athletic Conference High School football. I'm Foxy Gagnon along with my partner Goose Gagnon and of course Calvin Castine on camera. And today we've got the one game that the North Country's been buzzing about all week. It's if you are familiar with high school football in the North Country, everything ticks by week until it comes down to the big ball game, and this is it today. We've got the Beekmantown Central Eagles 5-0, and we've got the Seton Catholic Central School Knights 5-0. And Goose, you gave up a day of fishing for an afternoon of football here, but I think we've landed a big one.
Oh, big, that's an understatement. This is two teams at 5-0. This is what they worked all year for, is a big game like this. This is a game that I never was fortunate enough to be in, and I always wanted to. You got all the leaders in different categories. We'll mention that as the game goes along. Both teams are pumped up for this one. We're going to see a dandy.
One team, the winner of this game, will probably go all the way. Here we go. Let's take on some football at Beekmantown.
It's standing room only here at the Beekmantown field, home of the Eagles. A little quieter here in the visitors' side. Actually, those are mostly Beekmantown fans also. Both radio stations are covering today's broadcast. And we see the band is in position. To accommodate the crowd, they've set up bleachers on the opposite side of the field today. This is a game that many people, it's almost unanimous, feel that this will decide the 1990 CVAC championship.
Today, under the direction of Miss Jeanette Winslow, plays our national anthem.
Beekmantown will receive. We have a packed crowd here at Beekmantown. We're situated directly behind the Beekmantown marching band and sitting amongst the Beekmantown boosters. And the Seton side of the field is filled as well, lining the fences, and the bleachers are full on that side. Goose, on paper, what differences might you see between the two teams?
Okay, as far as on paper, the Beekmantown Eagles, they're a more wide open type offensive team. They'll pass long. We'll see the long bomb today. Seton, they're just basic. Run the ball, grind it out. One thing to keep in mind is Beekmantown Eagles are the #1 pass team, but the Seton Knights are the #1 pass defensive team. Something's got to give there.
Good matchup right there. Back to receive for Beekmantown. Deep is Ron Kirk, and then we have Goodman and Sawyer also back deep. It's the game that we've been waiting for. This is going to be North Country football at its best, we're quite sure. This is the one that every year, as we said, we wait for the big game and it all focuses down to this one, and the kickoff is about to take place. It was Chris Wise kicking off. Goodman brings it over to the far side and tackled by number 50, Jason Degnan. Got to Goodman first, and Beekmantown will take over 1st and 10. Thanks to Jim Maston, the PA announcer here, for he'll be helping us spot the yard lines. 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Ty Kretzer, the quarterback for Beekmantown, and we'll be watching in the backfield Kirk Deshays, who is the league's leading rusher, number 34. And that's a gift to Deshays. Small gain.
Yep, just a little straight dive up the middle. Good way to start the game. The Seton Knights defensive line held their ground, a 1-yard gain.
Beekmantown will surely call on Deshays for a lot of the groundwork, but Kretzer is not afraid to go to the air. As Goose said, he is the top-ranked passer. Again to Deshays, but the line closed down. Number 70 for Seton, Jeremy Purick, led the tacklers.
Yep, Jeremy made a nice play on there. Looks like a pass it down here, Foxy.
3rd and 10. Loss of a yard on the play. Kretzer over to the side to check with the coach. We see Mark Haley with the headphones on was shouting something of a play out to the quarterback, Kretzer. Deshays and Goodman set back. Kretzer to pass. And it looked as though number 82, Sawyer, slipped.
Yep, that's exactly right. He slipped down, and just as the quarterback threw the ball, incomplete. It's going to be 4th down. The Irish will get, the Knights will get the ball.
Recalling those olden days, Goose. Ron Kirk is set to kick, and we've got Eric Berry back, but it's off the side of his foot, and that drops around the 45-yard line, and that's where it'll be 1st down. So we've played only a few minutes, and it's a 0-0 score. Eric Berry, the quarterback for Seton. Cummings and Herworth are their 2 main running backs, and on the first play from scrimmage for the Knights, they are stopped cold.
That's right, Foxy. The defensive line for the Eagles held their ground. Didn't look like, let's see, maybe a 1-yard gain.
Cummings was a carrier on that play. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. Berry has completed only 4 passes, I think, out of about 14 attempted this season. So Seton really relies on the ground game. And there's a gift to Herworth. And Herworth was hit head-on, getting up from the bottom of the pile. Let's see, the last red jersey to get up is number 53, and that's Bobby Brinson.
Yeah, Bobby made a nice hit on him, and let's see, we got 3rd down and about 6.
Watch for Cummings perhaps on this play, although let's see, we've got Berry stepping up. We've got Cummings and Herworth in the backfield.
Oh.
And it's an offsides.
Yep, that's free 5 yards for the Knights.
Inches them that much closer. So it's going to be 3rd and about a yard, maybe a long 1 here. And that calls for a different play. Larry Carpenter sent in a different play. He pulled Scott Mercer, who had been split to the right before the penalty. Now they have Rich Pearl split far to the right. It's a gift to Cummings. Off the left side, he slipped a tackle, he slips another, and is bumped out of bounds by Tom Tatro.
Yep, nice play there. Number 42 for the Knights, Joe Cummins, broke a couple tackles and got a good gain out of it. 1st and 10.
The ball's placed on the 31-yard line in Beekmantown Eagle territory. The Knights hustle up to the line. Jeremy Carter, the center for the Knights. Barry with a give to Herworth. Good for maybe one. Just what we expected. We're going to see the ground game, and each team will just grind it out and see which defense gives first.
That's right. That's right. I don't think the Seton Knights is going to try anything too fancy to begin this game with. They're satisfied moving the ball a little bit at a time.
Coach Butler just sent Curry Jolliker, 255-pounder, into the center of his defensive line. It's a give. Cummings off the left side. Nice tackle by Kirk. Moved up quickly from the secondary and made the tackle.
Yeah, he made a nice tackle. That's the way you got to tackle Joe Cummins, down low. He's a big, strong boy. He's listed at 5'11", 195.
And he has speed if he can break into the open field. It's going to be 3rd and 4 now for the Knights. Seton Catholic's defense held on Beekmantown's first possession. There was a short punt, and the Knights have been moving. And there's another give to Herworth. Good for a couple. It's going to be 4th and short.
4th and short, and I believe they're going to go for it.
And all of the Knights are looking over at Coach Larry Carpenter on the far side. And they're going to measure for a 1st down. And they have it. It's a 1st down for Seton Catholic. And their offensive push continues. 1st and 10 from it's going to be on about, looks like the 21-yard line. The clock is broken here this afternoon, and so we're going to be guessing as far as how much time remains. Cummings off the right side. He breaks into the open, and Cummings is into pay dirt. Joey Cummings with a 21-yard gallop.
Foxy, good run by Joe Cummins around the right side and just outraced the Beekmantown defenders. Something to keep in note, Joe Cummins and Kurt Deshays of the Beekmantown Eagles are fighting it out for the scoring lead, and Joe Cummins just went ahead of them on that play.
The extra point try, it's Barry to hold, and it's Joe Cummings to kick for the extra point. It's hopping in. And so we're about in the middle of the 1st quarter. Seton Catholic has got on the board first. It's Seton Catholic 7, the Beekmantown Eagles nothing. Seton Catholic set to kick off after the Cummings touchdown run, 21-yard touchdown score, Joe Cummings. And we have Ronnie Kirk back to receive along with Goodman and Sawyer for Beekmantown.
Let's go, Eagles!
Again, it'll be Chris Swise, who's a strong defensive player. We've seen him earlier in the season. Swise is set to kick off. It's a line drive scooped up by Larry Benware.
I think it was Chris Spies that made the tackle on that, and he belted him.
Benware returned it to the 33. No, let's see. We're going to check that. Goose, can you spot what yard line we're on here?
Let's
31.
31.
It's a gift to Deshays, and the Knight defense is really keying on Deshays here.
They certainly, they're going to have to. They're going to have to stop Deshays. Deshays is the leading ground gainer in the CVAC this year, so they got to stop him to be successful.
Deshays ran up over 600 yards last year and has already done that this season. He's in his senior year. And Kretzer back to pass, looks over the middle. It's complete to Stevens. Stevens dragged his man with him for another 5 yards. That's Neil Stevens.
Oh, Neil, he's a big boy, good hands, caught that ball, looked a little bit like Mark Bavario on that play.
We have a penalty, and it's against... It brought the ball into Knight territory now, and the Eagles have 1st and 10. The ball is about the 44-yard line. So Kretzer to Stevens has put Beekmantown on the move.
They needed that play. They looked like Beekmantown came out a little bit flat in the running game. They needed something big like that.
Kretzer with a give, and that was to Versput. Second down and 10.
Got the Seton defensive line holding their ground there, playing real well.
The Beekmantown big gainer has been the pass, and that was right towards the secondary. That's number 1 in the league. Tatro was in motion. That's Deshays. Deshays gallops almost to a 1st down, and we have an injured player. Dan Jolliker, a guard, is down, and the coaches hustle out. The Deshays gain is going to make it 3rd and 2, and we have an injured player here. We're towards the end of the 1st quarter, and Seton Catholic leads Beekmantown 7-0. Jolliker is helped off the field, and during that injury timeout, both coaches met with their teams. It's going to be 3rd and 2, a long 2. And the clock is running once again with, so we head towards the 2nd quarter. Looks like Brandon Drapeau, the center for Beekmantown. And that's a gift to Deshays. He's short of the 1st down.
Yep, but I think they're in field position where they're going to go for it. It's 4th and 1. Deshays, he's a big boy. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds.
The ball's on the 34, so they have a good 1. 4th and a good 1 yard to go. And they're going to measure. From this side, the way they're spotting on this side, it's short, but let's see. It's going to be about 1.5 feet, Goose.
Oh, I'd say about a football length.
Okay.
Open up a 4th down. And less than 1 yard for a 1st down.
Kretzer meets with Mark Haley, who must be the offensive coordinator for Beekmantown, and hustles in with a play. And that's Deshays in motion. It's a give to Versput.
I don't think they got it, Foxy. I don't think they got it.
Jeremy Carter for the Knights made the 1st contact, and they'll probably have to measure again.
Nope. 1st down, Seton. They are going to measure. They are going to measure, but from where the ball's right in front of us, and it doesn't look like it's crossed that marker.
Tell you the down marker on this side says no way. He's already turned it to the 1st down for the other team. So the Knights have held fast now twice.
Well, Foxy, that was the first of the big defensive play for the Seton Knights, and they held up to the task.
7-0 ball game. As Goose and I talked about this game before kickoff, I think both of us in our minds were looking for a low-scoring game. We each had our opinion about who was going to win. Cummings with about a 3-yard gain to the left side of the offensive line.
Yep, Foxy, this is the second time that we've seen the Seton Knights play, and we're awful impressed with their offensive line, the big boys, and they're very well coached, and they move the ball. That's what they live and die by the run.
The guys seem to be very quick off the line. It's going to be second and perhaps 6 yards. Oh, movement on the line. That was Brent Stephen, a little over anxious for Seton Catholic. And it will be a second net down and a little bit more than 10.
Eagles accept the penalty by Ross. Punts the ball.
Sunny day, little bit of a breeze, a cold breeze rustling through the crowd. Cummings again, but the Beekmantown line holds tight. That's Sean McGee celebrating for Beekmantown.
That's right, Sean made a good play on there, fought off the offensive player and made the tackle. Good tackle.
The battle of the undefeated. We're in Beekmantown, hometown cable. Foxy Gagnon and Goose Gagnon, and as we always say, Calvin Castine on camera. 3rd and 11. Larry Carpenter's Knights are up to the line. And Herworth breaks into the open, into the secondary. Was shoelaced by somebody. Looks like 53 for Beekmantown. Bobby Brinson again, but that's a first down.
Kenny Herworth made a good play. He was a nice hole by the offensive line. They picked up about 12 yards on the play, and the ball's in Seton Knights' hands again, and they're moving.
Seton Catholic quarterback Eric Berry hasn't stepped back to pass yet, has he?
You won't see him step back to pass too much.
So far, he hasn't needed the pass. The ground game has been doing it. A big touchdown run by Cummings in the first quarter. So far, the only points on the board, 7-0. A give right up the gut on a first down play. Herworth. So it'll be second and about 9 yards. The Beekmantown defense will have to hold strong. Looks like Tom Tatro is the captain of the defense for Beekmantown. This one's to Cummings on the left side. Nice tackle by number 53, and there he is, Brinson again.
Brinson was in on it, gave him a nice hit on the tackle.
Brinson's 5'8", 180. He's a junior, and that guy is solid. He's a solid fella, and so far they have the Knights have not been pushing him around very much. Third and 7 play for Seton Catholic. And Barry keeps it himself, but it didn't fool the defense, and I think that's McGee again. McGee and another tackler.
Looked like Ron Kirk was also in. McGee and Kirk brought down Eric Barry. It's going to be 4th down. It looks like the Knights will punt.
And it's Mark Sawyer dropping back for Beekmantown. It's 4th and 7. The ball is just over the midfield stripe. It's on the 46-yard line in Eagle territory. And this is Eric Barry, all-around player, set to punt. Barry slipped a little on the kick, but got a good line drive boot. Kirk has it. Kirk started to dance, but couldn't get away from about 3 Seton tacklers. I see number 70 there for Seton, Jeremy Purick again with a tackle. And we're in the first quarter with the score 7-0. Beekmantown will have the ball. That was the last play of the first quarter. The ball is moved to the 26-yard line. The Eagles will be going from left to right. And Goose, after 1 quarter, any surprises?
Well, as far as Seton Knights, no surprises there. They're doing exactly what I thought they would do. I'm a little bit surprised with the Beekmantown Eagles. They seem to come out a little bit flat, and maybe they were a little bit nervous in the first quarter. We'll see how they do on this series of plays.
They've tried 1 pass, and it was their big gainer of the first quarter. Maybe Kretzer will go to the air a little bit more in the second quarter as things loosen up a little bit. Kretzer with a give to Deshays. He's good for about 3. And I'm sure you can hear the Beekmantown band. The Beekmantown band in great tune here. Mark Haley calling out the plays to Kretzer. Kretzer hustles back to the huddle. Mark Sawyer split to the right, and that was Tetro in motion. Deshays breaks one here for a first down. Kirk Deshays.
Kirk made a nice play. There was a mix-up in the backfield, and the quarterback and Kirk ran into each other, but he got a first down out of it. They made the best out of what happened there.
Deshays is a 200-pounder. I wouldn't want to run into him very often. First and 10, the ball is on the 38-yard line.
Ooh.
Deshays was shoelaced in the backfield. Nice play by number 48 for Seton, and that's Steve Charbonneau. 5'9", only 150 pounds.
Yeah, it looked like he shot the gap on that one, and he was in the backfield. Lucky that he didn't cause a fumble on that.
The ball's exactly resting on the 35-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 14, and this might be a situation for a pass. Goose is looking for the air on this one. Kretzer looks over the secondary. Again, it's Tetro in motion, and Kretzer passes, hits Deshays right on the 35, but he didn't get any place because right there was Brent Stevens.
Yep, Brent Stevens was right on him. You know, they got, I don't think they got a gain, maybe a yard gain on that.
That was about it. Kretzer's 2 for 2. I think he's 2 for 3. They had 1 incomplete pass earlier, I think, over in the sidelines. The receiver slipped. And we do want to mention that you might notice some color problems whenever we broadcast the game, and we have there's a problem in the backfield. I don't know if that was a handoff, but Tetro was nailed for a loss. As I started to say, when the radio broadcasts their game at the same time that we're filming, it does cause the radio waves cause color interference on our tape, and so if you do notice a problem, that's what it is. It's going to be 4th down, long yardage, about 15. So Kirk is back to kick for Beekmantown. So over to the side, and there's a flag down. The ball's on the 36-yard line. We'll see what the penalty is. It's against Beekmantown.
Illegal motion. I think the Seton Knights will decline this penalty and take the ball right where they got it. They got pretty good field position. Nope.
They're bringing it back. Coach Butler making some changes in his offense now. He sends number 33, Larry Benware, in, number 31, Scott Goodman. They're in as blockers. for Kirk. Kirk standing on his 15. And again, it's booted off the side and is down there by number 40, Brian Versput.
Brian Versput downs the ball at the Seton Catholic Knight 34-yard line. The Knights took over first and 10, leading the game 7-0.
Barry at quarterback, first and 10 for Seton Catholic, and it's Cummings around the right side. Cummings into the secondary. Cummings is on his way. He's hauled down right behind by Neil Stevens. Good thing Stevens could catch him.
That's right. A little pitch out to the right. A basic play that the Seton Knights have used for 20 some odd years, and pitch out to the back, to the right side, and he got a good gain, about a 30-yard gain, and the Knights are knocking on the door.
It brought the ball all the way to Beekmantown 25-yard line, and Beekmantown calls a timeout. We're in the second quarter in Beekmantown, the battle of the undefeated, and the score is Seton Catholic 7, Beekmantown Central 0. Again this week, we'd like to remind our viewers that you're welcome to send in your contribution to be a patron of cable in the North Country. And when you do send in that contribution, please give us your suggestions into what we could be showing, what events you're interested in seeing on Channel 29. It's going to be 2nd and 9, Goose. That was a short gainer.
Yep, just a little handoff up the middle to Kenny Hurwitz, and yard gain.
The Knights are inside the 25. Pitch out to Cummings, who's looking for a receiver, and it's to Barry. It's to Barry, the quarterback, down to the 10-yard line. Razzle-dazzle.
Well, Foxy, sure it was. Eric Barry's a very good athlete. He pitched out to Cummins. It looked like a play just like the big gainer, and Cummins stopped, pulled up, and passed the ball beautiful to Eric Barry.
It's going to be 1st and goal or 1st and 10. It's exactly on the 10-yard line. First down for Seton Catholic. They're knocking on the door. Beekmantown defense going to have to stand strong. We see Brinson right in the middle of that defensive line, number 53. Along with 63, I believe, Dave Gettings. Hurwitz dropped it, but was smart enough to jump on it, Goose.
That's right. Heads up play. Instead of trying to pick it up, he jumped on it to keep the ball.
And the quick Sean McGee was about a half a second behind. If Hurwitz hadn't landed on it, I think McGee would have gobbled it up. The ball is on the 15, so it's going to be 2nd and 15. We're in the second quarter. Seton Catholic Central and Beekmantown Central School. Barry rolls to the right. He can run or pass. He gets away from Tatro, but too many Eagles are there. He's landed on the 25 by a host of red jerseys.
Yep, Eric Barry didn't have no place to go, and the Beekmantown Eagles are just pushing them back. The defense was a bit in the hole, and they came up big.
They sure have. The ball's all the way back. It started on the 10 on this series, and it's all the way back to the 23-yard line. 3rd down, and all the way to the goal line for a 1st down. Now here's the case. We have timeout, an important call here for Coach Larry Carpenter. So he's going to take a timeout and talk with his men. We're in the second quarter. The score: Seton Catholic 7, Beekmantown 0. The Knights come out of the huddle for a big 3rd down play. And this is number 88, Mickey G-Ball, split far to the left. That play went no place. Loss of a couple more.
That's right, Foxy. The defense for the Eagles are coming up big, and it's 4th down and 4th down and goal from the 23.
That's a 4th down and 24.
Perfect day for football in the North Country. Big crowd of people here, and I'll tell you, it's just cool enough that you know you're playing North Country football. Just a little bit crisp in the air, but the sun is out. Barry checks with his backfield, said something to Herworth. Splits men to the left. Barry back to pass, a big rush, almost intercepted, and Kirk is there. Kirk is there. I believe it was Brian Bearsput who put the hit on Eric Barry, and Barry came up short with the pass.
Boy, they put a lot of pressure on Eric Barry. They didn't give him much time to throw the ball. It went off the receiver's hands, right into the Eagles defender's hands, and now the Eagles got the ball.
Outstanding work by the Beekmantown defense. Kirk gets credit, but it was Stevens there first, and then Kirk with the interception. And now they're looking for the football, as each side has their own football to use for their offensive series. 1st and 10, the ball's on the 26-yard line. Beekmantown in its own territory, but a chance to move. It's on the 26, and there's Deshays, cuts right, knocked out of bounds. Number 26, who's that? Rich Pearl.
Yeah, Rich Pearl knocked Deshays out of bounds. Good blocking by the offensive line on that play. They got about 6.
The ball right over by the Beekmantown bench. It's just shy of the 35 now. 2nd down and maybe 3 yards to go. It's Mark Sawyer split to the right. And it's a give to Deshays, the workhorse for Beekmantown. He spun for the 1st down.
Well, it looks like Kurt Deshays is starting to warm up, and he's getting some big gainers now.
Ty Kretzer, Beekmantown quarterback, checks for the play along with number 31, Scott Goodman, and they go back to the Beekmantown Eagle huddle. 1st and 10, the ball is almost up to midfield. We're just shy of the 40-yard line. Tatro in motion. Nailed. Kretzer was nailed right there. Nice job on the rush by, who's that? Jeremy Burek.
Jeremy Burek put a good belt on the Beekmantown quarterback.
Jeremy, a senior, 189 pounds. So it's an incomplete pass, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. We have to be at least in the middle of the 2nd quarter. Again, we'll remind you, the clock is not working here at the Beekmantown field. Kretzer looks for Deshays in the flats. No, he moves to the right and got just back to the line of scrimmage and then a few more yards. Kretzer was smart not to pass it. Somebody was there.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying a little swing pass to the left, and the Knights had that covered real well. And Kretzer made a nice scramble out of it to get out of trouble and got a little bit of a gain out of it.
If I remember correctly, it was Burek over there on the flats with the Deshays just daring Kretzer to toss the ball. 3rd down and 6, and we have whistles. 4th down. 4 minutes. Thanks, Goose.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the 4-minute running. 4 minutes to go here in the 1st half of play.
And they restart the clock. Beekmantown would love to get on the board before halftime. They're down 7-0. Cummings touchdown in the 1st quarter, around right end, 21-yard run. The only score of the ball game. Kretzer again passes. He's the league's leading passer. It's to Stevens. It was tipped, but Stevens had the hands.
It was tipped by a defender, and the Knight defender, and it went right into Neal's hands. Good concentration by Neal, and they didn't tackle him again. Boy, he looks like Mark Bavaro.
And his father, Doug, has got to be smiling about that play. The ball is on the 45-yard line of Seton Catholic. Doug is filming the game for Beekmantown, I believe. We may have been able to spot him with the camera. 1st and 10, the Eagles on the march. Kretzer with a give to Deshays off the right side, dragged down by, it looked like number 28 perhaps, Barry. Let's see, it was 26 for Seton Catholic. Rich Pearl with the tackle.
Foxy, that was a strange play there. There was a handoff to Deshays, and there was 3 defenders for the Knights right there, and he just ran between them. They never even put an arm out to get him, and got a good gain.
First down for the Eagles from the 33-yard line. Under 4 minutes remaining till halftime. A fake to Deshays and a give to number 31, Scott Goodman, but there was no gain there. It looks like 48 getting up. That's Steve Charbonneau.
Yeah, Steve made a nice play on there and came up with a big play for the Knights. They needed to do something to stop the momentum of the Beekmantown Eagles. I think that defensive series for the Eagles carried over to the offense.
Second and 12. The Eagles have been able to mix the run with the pass to put themselves on the move here in the second quarter. Deshays nailed. Number 62 is one of the guys we'll give credit to, Chris Swise.
Chris Swise made a nice play on that. A little pitch out to Deshays, and they held up to the task.
And Beekmantown takes a timeout with about 2.5 minutes, we're guessing, 2.5 minutes remaining till the halftime. And it's Seton Catholic 7, the Beekmantown Eagles 0. Beekmantown set to break out of the huddle. A big third down play, 3rd and 11, late in the second quarter. Kretzer's going to pass. Well, Kretzer got away from number 38 for Seton, Kenny Herworth, but then he was nailed by Purick.
That's right. Give credit to the secondary of the Knights. They had good defense out there on that play.
Good coverage. Yeah, you're right. Well, they have to kick. The Eagles have to kick. 4th down play. He's standing on his own 40-yard line, 43-yard line. Nice kick. A boomer. And it went into the end zone. A boomer from Kirk.
Yep, good punt. Real good punt.
And Seton Catholic will take over deep in their own territory. It's Seton Catholic 7, Beekmantown 0. Barry, was that a keeper? I think it was. Short gain.
Gain of 2 brings up a 2nd down 8.
Larry Carpenter on the far side in his 13th year, I believe. 13th year as a head coach in the Champlain Valley Athletic Conference. Barry to Cummings. Cummings with about 5 yards. Close to a first down, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like 3rd and about 1. Don't look for the Knights to try anything too fancy here. They'll be content just to run out the clock.
The Beekmantown secondary has been a threat here. 1 interception so far. Another short gainer. Barry tried to keep it to pick up the 1 yard needed for a first down. Didn't look like he made it, Goose.
Looks pretty close. We're going to have a measurement.
Goose eyeballs it. Let's see if he's right.
will mark just short.
And someone may have called timeout. I see Coach Carpenter coming out in the field. So with this timeout, it's Seton Catholic Central Knights 7, Beekmantown Eagles 0. And it was good for a first down. Ball on the 30-yard line. That's Herworth sidestepping for a couple yards. The Beekmantown defensive line was there.
And that's the end of the first half of play with the score. The Seton Catholic Knights 7, the Beekmantown Eagles 0.
And it's halftime in Beekmantown. The battle of the undefeateds will continue. At halftime, it's Seton Catholic Central 7, Beekmantown 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1990 Beekmantown Marching Band is here. The band is under the direction of Jeanette Linsler, and color guard instructor is Chris Seal. The 1990 drum major is Miss Diana Gay. To start today's show, we will play Shine Down, which will feature Brian Connery on the baritone and Tara Wright on the mellophone. Feature Jody Haynes and Tim Clancy on trumpets as we play a tune made popular by Chuck Mangione, Children of Sanchez.
Okay, Elvis.
here we'll play a tune from the Beach Boys, Surfin' USA. Central High School Marching Band.
We are set for the second half kickoff. It will be Sean McGee, I believe, kicking off for Beekmantown. We played one good half of football. The undefeated teams are set to take on each other in the second half. Eric Berry and Joe Cummings back to receive for Seton Catholic. And that's Berry. Berry with speed to the right side. Berry may go. He's being chased, but he broke away. He's going about 80 yards. Eric Berry.
Oh, boy, Eric Berry. This guy can fly. He took the ball. It was a bad kick. It was rolling around. He picked it up and just went down the sidelines. Nobody touched him, and boy, that's got to take a little bit out of the Beekmantown Eagles.
I think Randy Bracey was the guy who was the last hope for the Eagles, and Berry pulled away from him into pay dirt, and it's 13-0. A big, unbelievable play, and this is about the third time, at least this season, that Eric Berry has broken loose for a long touchdown. And it's Cummings with Berry holding for the extra point. Cummings got it up, and it's in. A couple fellas exchanging words, but the score early in the second half, Seton Catholic 14, Beekmantown 0. Mark Sawyer and Scott Goodman back to receive for the Eagles. And Ron Kirk is also back there. The Eagles are going to huddle. And Goose, before we had time to even talk about the first half, we've had a big play in the second half.
Big play. You're going to have Beekmantown's going to have to open it up now. The coaching staff must be pulling their hair right now. This is 6 quarters now that they haven't scored against the Seton Knights, and they're wondering what they got to do to put some points on the board.
So last year's game, what was the score of last year's game?
7-0 Seton.
The Eagles looking for a big play. And we're going to see Kretzer throw that ball. And that's the kind of football that I really enjoy. It bounces back to about the 13-yard line. Nailed. 48 and 44. Brent Stephen and Steve Charbonneau teamed up for that hit on number 31, Scotty Goodman.
Boy, they lowered the boom on that one. It looks like the Seton Knights are pumped up this second half.
The ball's on the 18-yard line, and that's where the Eagles take over. They're going to have to get on the board here. We're in the third quarter of play in Beekmantown. Kretzer hustles out on the field, and in a play or two, he's going to have to pass. He's going to have to air it out. Watch for Neil Stevens. He comes to the right side here on right end. It may be, there's Tatro in motion. It's a give to Deshays. Deshays hoping to break one. Coming up for the tackle. The big hit was number 62, Chris Wise.
Chris Wise is having a good game. He's come up with some nice tackles tonight.
Larry, Carpenter's Eagles, Seton Catholic Knights are on top, 14-0. It's a 2nd and 6 play. That was a 4-yard gain for Deshays. It's a give to Goodman, but he stumbled and picked up maybe about a yard, and that's it. Maybe he got about to the 25-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 4. Kretzer looking towards the sidelines for the play. Trotting in is Brian Verzaput with the play. Mark Sawyer split to the right. Tatro set to the right. Verzaput and a pitch out to Deshays towards the sidelines. Knocked out of bounds. Not any room at all to work to this side, Goose.
No room at all, and I'm a little bit surprised. Apparently, the coaching staff of the Eagles feels that they were in a bad field position to put the ball up in the air, but I believe they're really going to have to put the ball up in the air to score.
And you've got the threat of the Seton Catholic secondary led by Eric Berry and his 8 interceptions this season. It's Berry back to receive. Kirk gets the kickoff. Berry's there. Berry takes it on the 40-yard line. And he got just over the 45, and that's where the Knights will take over. We're in the third quarter, and the Knights lead the Eagles 14-0. Berry at quarterback. It's a give to Kenny Herworth. Brinson out there defensively trying to get his guys psyched up. He's chewing out somebody on defense. It was about a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 for the Knights. We had a great time at halftime talking with Bobby Trombley, who played some hard-nosed football at Plattsburgh High School back in the early 80s, and he's here alongside us. Had a great time talking with him and talking about some of the old players the Hornets had. That's Cummings off tackle. Across the 40-yard line, it'll be first down, Goose.
Foxy, the offensive line are opening up some nice holes. The running backs are scampering through there, getting 5-6 yards out of shot. The Knights are keeping the ball, basic running plays, keeping things simple and getting the job done.
And they haven't had to go to the air. And penalty, and it looked like it was on Beekmantown. It looked like Curry Jolliker was a little bit over anxious.
Yep, that's right. 5 free yards, first down and 5.
The ball crosses the 35. The Knights are in Eagle territory. Hometown Cable bringing you this game tonight, this afternoon. You're watching it tonight, I suppose. From the comfort of your living room, here we go, Eric Berry at quarterback. That's Herworth. Gained a couple, second and, well, about 3 yards.
Second down, 4.
Foxy, the defense of the Eagles is going to have to stiffen right now and get that ball back.
The Knights playing with a lot of confidence right now. 14-0 lead midway in the third quarter. Cummings was hit. He was hit first by Kirk Deshays, moved up for the tackle.
Make the final stop.
3rd and 3.
Brings up a 3rd down and 3 for Seton Catholic.
You've been able to watch some great football so far this season on Hometown Cable. Cummings with some extra effort, and he's close to the first down.
Yeah, looks like he's about a yard shy, though, and it'll be 4th down, maybe a little less than a yard, and I'm sure they're going to go for this one.
We want to encourage viewer patrons when they send in their contribution to let us know what events you'd like to see on Hometown Cable. The Cable Committee, Citizens Advisory Board for Local Events, is very interested in your ideas. And please get a hold of us. You'll look at the end of tonight's programming and you'll see a list of names, people you can contact in the North Country. The measurement, the Knights are just short, so it will be 4th and about a foot.
First down for the Knights.
Basic football this afternoon by Seton Catholic, grinding it out on the ground. And the Knights offensive unit have controlled the ball for much of the game.
That's what the coaching staff feels that they have to do. Keep the ball away from the offensive unit of the Eagles.
Cummings was nailed right at the line. Not
a little bit of pushing.
A little disagreement among the fellas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a red Camaro in front of the Religion Center.
They're going to measure.
4th and close on that play, and they're going to measure for a first down.
5'9". Red Camaro.
Looks like they got it, Foxy. I'm going to say they do. From where I'm standing, it looks like they just got it.
Here's the measurement.
Roll eyes off.
Beekmantown held, so you've got a victory here for the Eagles. Now they've got to grab that ball and move it.
That's certainly right. This is the second time the defense has come up big, and the offense hasn't come back and answered with a score. They got to put some points on the board.
Beekmantown's on their own 29-yard line. And I'm going to make a prediction that I thought of earlier in the week. I say that Beekmantown's going to score once on a pass. I think I'm going to be right. This is Stevens. Stevens with the gun. The man, right through his arms. Mark Sawyer almost had a big one.
Boy, he sure did. He was open. Eric Berry was defending, went for the interception and missed the ball and went right through the receiver's hands.
Berry, and you've got Alex Carter in the secondary for the Knights, and that could have been a big one for the Eagles. That's the one the coaches will look on the game film and said, oh, if we could have had that one. 2nd and 10. Deshays and Goodman in the backfield. It's give to Deshays. He's tripped up right at the line. Number 50 for Seton Catholic, Jason Degnan with a nice play. It's no gain, so we've got 3rd and 10. Kretzer's got to throw it, Goose.
That's right, Foxy, and watch for Neil Stevens. He had success in the first half passing to him. I think he'll look for Neil.
We'll watch where Neil sets up, probably at his tight end spot on the right side. 3rd and 10. The ball still on the 29-yard line. Where is Stevens? He's to the left side, tight on the left side. Kretzer looks, Stevens is open. He's going for Stevens. It's off his fingertips. Just off. I think it bounced back in his hand, but that was close again.
Oh, it sure was, and he was open. He was wide open, and it would have been a good gainer. 4th down, and Beekmantown Eagles got to punt the ball away.
The Eagle fans near us are shaking their heads, saying, "Oh, so close." So we've got a 4th and 10 situation. Kirk back to punt, and there's Barry, the only man back. It's going to go to Barry. Barry steps up. He wants that ball. He's looking up the middle, sidesteps one, gets by another. Don't tell me he spun another tackle. Eric Barry having a heyday today. Finally trapped by number 82, and that's Mark Sawyer, of course, for Beekmantown.
Eric returned that punt real good, slipping, sliding, dodging. He's a very good athlete.
Great moves. It'll be 1st and 10 for Seton Catholic. They're ahead 14-0. Scott Mercer split to the left as Barry wants more. Barry right up the middle. Pearl, but look at Kirk. Kirk came out of no place to knock the ball away, Ronnie Kirk.
Ronnie made a beautiful play. He saved a touchdown there. It looked like it was going to be a touchdown pass, and Kirk came out of nowhere and knocked it away. Big play.
Ridge Pearl had to be thinking, oh boy, get that ball to me. He was wide open. And Kirk, I can't believe it. I didn't even see Kirk near there, and all of a sudden he was there to knock it away. 2nd and 10. And a nice play in a big hole. Boomer. Well, he ran into Neil Stevens. That was Herworth with the ball on the delay out of the backfield.
Nice draw play by the Seton Knights. A huge opening, and Kenny just took it through and ran into the Neil Stevens, and there was a good collision there.
Sure was. The ball's on the 24-yard line, and Seton Catholic wants a timeout. We have to be late in the 3rd quarter, Goose, and we've got a 14-0 ball game. Seton Catholic in the lead. The Knights break out of the huddle. First and 10. Long call. Cummings slipped out of one man's hands, but there was someone else there to greet him. I think Brinson was there.
Eric Barry almost fumbled that ball. When he came up from center, the ball was flipping and sliding through his hands, and he was lucky to hand it off without losing the ball.
We've been having a lot of fun bringing these football games to you, and as we've met people in the community, some people have asked us, well, gee, can you show instant replays? That would be great to add that, and to get those kind of capabilities, we just need more support so that we can eventually have all kinds of replays, such as this one where Barry was nailed and number 63 grabbed him first. David Gettings for Beekmantown.
Eric was trying to set up a screen pass, and Beekmantown Eagles had that covered real well, and he had to scramble around. A big loss there. Another big play by the Eagles. The Eagles defense is playing pretty good. They've only given up 7 points, really.
That's right. 3rd and 20-something. when you least expect it. There's Barry rolling out. Remember, he can run. He's going to run, but he was hit and bumped out of bounds. Who is that, Goose?
That was Kurt DeShays. Gave him a real good hit and knocked him out of bounds. It's going to be a 4th down now.
He gained 1, so it's going to be 4th and 6. Oh, excuse me, 4th and 15, thanks to Goose and Jim Maston up in the PA box for the Beekmantown School Eagles.
Hey, Todd.
We're in the 6th week of football, CVAC high school action. This is Cummings coming to the left side. He's looking. On the run is Barry. Gets it away. And the pass is incomplete. So again, the Beekmantown defense answered the call.
They certainly did, and now it's up to the offense to get something generated. You know, we're running out of time here in the 3rd quarter.
Beekmantown will take over on the 30-yard line, 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Beekmantown. 14-0, Seton Catholic lead. Beekmantown steps up to the line. Kretzer may have to go to the air. It's a pitch out to DeShays. They want to break something loose. Nice block by Goodman. But someone stepped up and he is injured. That's Cummings, isn't it?
Yes, that's Joe Cummings. Oh, he's getting up. He's a tough boy. We got a penalty flag down, Foxy.
All right, on the play.
Maybe a holding call, Goose.
Yes, it looks like in the area where holding is called, and that's going to put the Beekmantown Eagles in the hole again.
Gary Butler voicing his disapproval of this call.
It looked like it was an illegal block, Foxy. That's what they're calling.
Beekmantown will have it 1st and 20. We're, let's see, we started on the 35, Goose? No, we started on the 30, so we're back to the 20. Tatro in motion. Kretzer hands to Kirk from out of the backfield. He got back up to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yep, good play. A little delay back there, and Kirk took the ball and got 10 yards.
Both defenses have been stubborn, as you say. We've had 2 big plays here. One with Cummings going off around the right end for the touchdown in the 1st quarter, and then Barry broke loose the 2nd half kickoff.
Those 2 plays right there, you take those 2 away, and it's nothing ball game.
We've got the sunshine in Beekmantown. Kirk, a handoff to Kirk. Kirk throws for Stevens, but he just put his arm out as if to say, well, where's that ball going?
Yeah, it wasn't even near him, and Neal was pretty well covered there by number 28, I think it was Eric Berry, or was it number 26, Rich Pearl.
3rd down, and with the clock ticking away here, we're going to have to come up with a big Beekmantown play. I'm still looking for the Kretzer to Stevens bomb. We're going to see it yet, Goose. Hang on. Kirk is in the backfield now, along with Goodman.
Fumble.
And there's a fumble, and that may be a touchdown. Jeremy Purick is wrestled down around the 5 by Kirk.
It was a little option play, and the quarterback of the Eagles pitched it out, and nobody was there.
The last thing you can afford just happened to the Beekmantown Eagles, and it'll be 1st and goal for Seton Catholic. 14-0 lead.
First and goal for Seton Catholic.
The Knights hustle out of the huddle. First and goal from the 5, and it's Herworth. He's banged up a little bit. 2 people are tugging on him. Tatro and Verisput made the tackle. It's on the 3-yard line. 4-yard line.
Second down and goal. The Beekmantown Eagles defense is asked to hold the Knights this time, and boy, that's asking for a lot.
Tough situation for the Beekmantown Eagles. Another score, and they'd be down 3 touchdowns late in the game. Barry to Cummings. Cummings is into the end zone. Touchdown, Seton Catholic. Simple give to the right side.
That's right. Joe Cummings took the ball, and in he went for his second score of the game. They're up 20-0, the Knights are, and the crowd's pretty quiet here now.
The band hasn't played. In fact, the band has disappeared. We're going to see who's on that right line. Let's give credit. It looks like 62 and 75 for Seton Catholic. Chris Swise and Jeremy Carter led the way on that touchdown. That one was blocked. I think Brinson's arm got it. There were a couple guys there, but I think it was Brinson over the top of the pile to block the kick. We're in the second half. The battle of the undefeated. And Seton Catholic Knights are up 20-0 over Beekmantown.
Number 3 will drive in. The ticket number 574.
So the Knights of Seton Catholic Central are set to kick off. Still a big crowd, but it's a lot quieter on this side. A lot quieter than it was earlier in the ball game. The Knights have taken a 7-0 halftime lead and turned it into a 20-0 lead, and I think we're still in the third quarter.
That's right, and the Knights' philosophy is basic plays, eliminate your mistakes. When the other team makes a mistake, take full advantage of it, and that's what they've done so far.
And I look across and I see Larry Carpenter dressed in green. That was the St. John's formula from the Barry Brandon days on through. Sawyer with the pickup of the kick and to about the 40-yard line. And that's where Beekmantown will take over. The Eagles will have to move it. It's Seton Catholic 20, Beekmantown 0. Kretzer to the workhorse, DeShays. Loss of yard.
Yep, Foxy, I'm real surprised. Apparently, the Beekmantown Eagles feel that really respect the pass defense of the Knights, because they haven't really put the ball up nearly as much as I thought they would.
And we have another timeout at maybe the quarter. That's the end of the third quarter. It's Seton Catholic Central 20, Beekmantown Central 0.
At the press box at this time, please. Thank you.
We're ready for the final quarter of action here at Beekmantown. 2nd and 11. The Eagles on their own 35. Or is it the 25? 35. Kretzer on the run to the right. Ooh, hit from behind. I guess that was perfect timing.
It looked like it from my position. Real good defensive play.
And that's Barry again on the defense. 3rd and 11 for Beekmantown. And they have not really been able to pass against Seton Catholic.
Well, Seton Catholic's ranked number 1 against the pass, so maybe that's why. Well deserved.
Roy Garrett holding up the action for a second. Now he steps out of the way. Kretzer with a 3rd and 11 play. He has to go to the air. He finds Stevens. What a grab! What a grab by Neil Stevens! This guy's tremendous receiver.
Oh, what a grab by Neil Stevens right in front of us. And there was a defender there for the Knights, and Neil grabbed it. Looked like a one-handed grab.
And this may be Cummings that was down. Cummings slow to get up. He's rocking his way up and shaking away the cobwebs. Stevens grabbed that ball down by his knees.
Boy, he sure did, and and picked up another 10, 15 yards after that.
Beekmantown has the ball on the 25. They've got to keep on the move. They're behind 20-0. We're in early in the fourth quarter. Kretzer can throw it. A fake to Deshays in the backfield. Again, in pursuit, number 70, but Stevens is in the end zone. He's got 6. Neil Stevens wide open in the end zone, and Ty Kretzer found him. Beekmantown's on the board. They've got something to cheer about.
Boy, I guess so. A beautiful play, good pressure on the quarterback. He scrambled out of the pocket, found Neil Stevens in the end zone all alone, and 6 points right there.
Goose, I'd be the last to say I told you so, but I said there'd be a bomb. Sean McGee with the extra point try. It's good. And the Eagles may have time. It's 20 for Seton Catholic. And the Beekmantown Eagles 7. Things have warmed up a little bit in the Beekmantown air, Goose.
That's right. You'll see the emotional level of the Beekmantown Eagles rise up now. They needed that big time. There's plenty of time. They can come back.
We're waiting for the kickoff. We're in the fourth quarter. Battle of the undefeated in the North Country. Back to receive is, of course, Eric Berry. It's a low liner and immediately downed at the 38-yard line by number 20, Scott Mercer. And that's where Seton Catholic will take over, 1st and 10. It's 20-7, Seton Catholic lead. Calvin Castine, who's seen his share of ball games, predicted that you won't see Barry go to the air. I'm with him on that one, Goose. A give to Herworth.
Yep, just a basic handoff to Kenny Herworth, maybe a yard gain. I don't see Seton trying anything too fancy, but they also can't sit on that lead either.
2nd down, 9 yards to go. And the big question right now is how much time can Seton tick off the clock in this possession. Number 44, Brent Steven hustles over, split far to the right. 2 men are also set back to the right. Barry with a keeper. He used those men for blockers. He slipped. He was tackled by Tommy Tatro, but the flag was thrown.
Yeah, it might be an illegal block. Yeah, a clip.
And that again lights up the Beekmantown sidelines. So a neat gainer there, but that's nullified. Roy Garrett steps it off. Pushes the ball back to about the 28-yard line. And the Beekmantown fans are on their feet.
Boy, they sure are. The emotional level of the Beekmantown Eagles has risen real good. The defense is holding. They got to get the ball back for the offense.
It's a give, but nothing there. Number 75 for Beekmantown, John Magoon landed on him. And it'll be third down. Third and about 20. Big play for the Beekmantown defense. Stop them here, get the ball, and get on the move again. We wish we had a clock. If you just joined us, the clock has been broken here for the entire game, so we don't really know about time. Big play for both sides. Barry keeps it. A fake up the line to Herworth, and Barry has almost a first down. Second effort, it's going to be close.
Boy, I'm real impressed with Eric Barry. I think he's a little bit shy. He took the ball, went around left end, had some good blocking over there. It's fourth and about 1, but they got good field position on that for their punt.
Gain of about 17 or 18 yards. Barry is the only quarterback in the league who's listed in the top 10 for rushing, so it shows you he's very versatile. And it's a fourth and about 1, and it'll be a kick. Barry back to punt, a low snap and a line drive kick.
Whoa. Good down.
That was Sawyer picking it up. Sawyer.
Nice tackle.
Who got the tackle, Goose? Who is that? 62 or 52? It's 62, I think. Check me if I'm wrong, but, well, we should know this number by now. It's Chris Wise.
Chris Wise has come up with some real key tackles today. He's having a good ball game.
Beekmantown will have the ball. First and 10, they lead. They're behind 20-7. We're in the fourth quarter. Kretzer with a pitch out to Stevens. Stevens looks downfield. What an arm. Taking the chance, going deep. But Sawyer, it's incomplete. That was for Sawyer all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Boy, Neal can really throw that ball. It's a little pitch out to Neal. He threw a bomb. Eric Berry went up for the interception, missed it, and it went through Sawyer's hands.
Goose, he threw that ball 50 yards or something in the air. That was about 50 yards in the air, wasn't it?
It was a bomb.
Two defenders were back deep for Seton Catholic. 20-7 ball game. Beekmantown needs to get on the board quickly. Time ticking down in the fourth quarter. Battle of the undefeated Seton Catholic and Beekmantown. Kretzer again will go to the air, over the middle. Deshays, he hit Deshays, and it will be a first down, very close. Let's see.
31.
And it's a first down. The Eagles gaining the first down through the air. They have crossed over the 30-yard line. And as is usual, by this time of the ball game, those yard markers are hard to spot. Ty Kretzer, the quarterback. It's been the same backfield all the way. Kretzer goes down, and the throw was too high. I think that was number 70 again, Purick on his case.
Yep, putting real good pressure on it. He had to get rid of the ball real quick and threw it where it couldn't be intercepted.
Both teams giving us some good football this afternoon. CVAC high school football.
I want to carry the banner.
Second down play for Beekmantown. Deshays with a little move in the backfield, then he crossed over the 35, 40-yard line, 35. 3rd and 7.
Big play here. You're going to see the ball in the air. Look for Neal Stevens.
Stevens has the Beekmantown touchdown. Kretzer found him in the end zone, wide open. Kretzer looks over the defense. Stevens in the center of the field, but that one's intercepted. Number 62, Chris Wise.
Chris Wise is having a real good defensive ball game. Big interception. They were trying to go to Stevens on that play, and he stepped in front of them, and now the Knights have the ball, and they're in good shape.
Wise is a linebacker. He's 5'9", 190 pounds. He's a junior, and Seton Catholic will have the ball. They lead 20-7. The Knights will ground it out here. Herworth picked up a couple. It'll be second and about 8 yards now, as Seton Catholic defense came up with a big play to stop the Eagles' march. Mickey Gibo split far to the left, and we've got Pearl here split to the right along with Cummings. That's Herworth tripped up. Number 55 for Beekmantown, Eric Purrier in on the tackle.
Stopped at the 35-yard line. There's a 3rd down and a long 3 for Seton Catholic.
3rd and 3 for Seton. The Beekmantown defense has to be tired. It's been a pretty much controlled ball game by Seton Catholic in that they've been able to keep the ball pretty much on the ground and use up the clock. Cummings in motion and coming around the left side. Slips 2 tacklers and banged out of bounds by Neil Stevens, but he slipped 2 tacklers about 6-7 yards before that. So it's a 1st down. Larry Carpenter's Knights may want more here. First and 10. I believe the balls are exactly on the 30-yard line. Herworth up the middle. What a smash! Deshays hit him head on, and Herworth just bounced away and took more.
Yeah, nice hole up the middle, and Kenny ran right into Kurt Deshays, and there was a collision there, and it didn't bring Kenny down, and he picked up another 4 or 5 yards.
And they're going to measure. I wish we knew about how much time remained in the ball game. And it is a 1st down. So the Seton Knights keep pushing forward. Just inside the 20-yard line, I believe. Herworth again. Herworth, it's nice to have 2 strong runners, and that's what Seton Catholic has in Cummings and Herworth.
Yep, Kenny Herworth is listed at 6'1", 180. Both runners are in the top 10 in rushing yardage in CVAC. They have the luxury of 2 running backs.
And a quarterback who can also run. 2nd down. 2nd and 5 for Seton Catholic. Herworth again, the only man in the backfield. Man in motion is Pearl. And what was that all about?
Illegal motion. Looked like the back in the Knights backfield started before the snap.
2nd down and 10.
Great day of football. I came armed with binoculars, clipboards, gloves, an extra sweatshirt with a hood, and we haven't needed much of it because it's been a sunny day, just a little bit of breeze to let you know you're watching North Country football. 2nd and 10 for the Knights. That's Mercer in motion.
Herworth the ball carrier.
Herworth picks up a couple. It's going to be a 3rd down, and it looked like he got about a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 9.
Yep, 3rd
down and 9 for the Knights. Ball's at the Eagle 9.
I want to see Beekmantown get the ball, Goose. I'll be honest with you. I want to give the Eagles one last try.
The timeout was for the 4-minute warning.
And that's the 4-minute warning. 4 minutes remaining in the ball game, and Seton Catholic leads 20-7. The Knights are out of the huddle. Led up to the line by number 75, Jeremy Carter, the center, 235-pounder. Barry steps behind him, dances around the backfield. Hit by a gang of Eagles.
Knocked out of bounds by McGee.
4th down play for Seton Catholic. What you going to call?
Well, they're not going to try anything too fancy. They got the clock on their side. I think they'll just try a basic run up the middle and see what they can get out of it. The offensive line's doing good of Jason Dagnan, Thad Bingo, Chris Schwartz, Jeremy Purick, and Jeremy Carter. They've done a good job all day.
4th and 9. Mercer in motion, and it was a gift to Herworth. He did not get the 1st down, so the Beekmantown Eagles will get a shot at it. It's Seton Catholic 20, the Beekmantown Eagles 7. Kretzer rolls out. Looks for Stevens, but there's Barry. Barry wants to go with it. He's tackled by Kirk, but Eric Barry, that defensive secondary of Seton, is tough.
Well, he's one of the reasons why they're ranked number 1 against the pass. That's his 9th, I believe, interception of the year. And Seton's going to run out, just keep the ball on the ground here and try to run the clock out.
Well, Beekmantown got its shot, but Seton Catholic defense answered the call. And you're right. Calvin notices that people are starting to depart. They figure that was the Eagle chance, and we've got a timeout by Seton Catholic. With perhaps 3 minutes remaining in the ball game, it's Seton Catholic Central on its way to keeping its undefeated streak going. Seton Catholic 20, Beekmantown 7. The Knights are up to the line. Of course, this important high school football game was brought to you by a couple local radio stations. And as we mentioned earlier, their radio waves may cause interference with the color on the tape. So if you do notice that there's a little bit of problem with the color, it's because of the radio waves. Goose, I look up at the clock and I see 20-7 Seton Catholic in the lead, and you know, I hate to say that you told me so, but as we talked about this ball game over the last few days, this was pretty close to what you were predicting.
Well, Foxy, I knew that if the Seton Knights could run the ball like they have against other teams, and there was no reason why it shouldn't continue, that they would come out of this game successful. And I think that's the key. Give credit to the offensive line and the coaching staff of the Seton Knights. This is a well-coached team, both offensively and defensively.
Barry danced his way for another good gain, and there was a flag thrown about 10 seconds after the play had been called dead. And we also have a Beekmantown player injured. We'll check to see who that is, but we have a timeout, and Seton Catholic leads Beekmantown 20-7. It looks like number 53, and maybe Calvin can zoom in and let me know if I'm incorrect, but Bobby Brinson, who has had one heck of a ball game for Beekmantown, is being helped off the field. Seton Catholic has the ball inside the 10-yard line, 7-yard line, 1st and goal, and they're knocking on the door with a 20-7 lead. The Beekmantown fans are a little quieter and a sparser crowd as well. It's been a good day of football in Beekmantown, but it's Seton Catholic on top. Cummings was hauled down by Curry Jolliker, 6 foot, 255-pound senior.
First and goal from just inside the 10.
2 weeks of football remain, so the Eagles will look for somebody to knock off Seton Catholic.
Well, that's what they're hoping for, and you know, Seton Catholic's got 2 more games to go. You know, now they're starting to think undefeated year.
And the season certainly is not over for Beekmantown, because they've got to just look ahead to the next 2 weeks, play their brand of football, win the next 2. And really, that's about all they have to worry about, is just winning their next 2 ball games. It'll be 3rd and goal. And we have a Beekmantown timeout. We're late in the 4th quarter, and it's Seton Catholic 20, Beekmantown 7. Third down play, and it's Cummings trying to dig it out, but the Beekmantown Eagle defense remains stubborn. If you'd like to become a viewer patron, watch the notices that are printed after this ball game, after tonight's programming, and you'll see how you can get in touch with the cable committee to join our list of viewer patrons. And we have another timeout. Seton Catholic 20, Beekmantown 7. 4th down play for Seton Catholic, looking for one more score. It's a pitch out to Cummings, and he was close, and he's just short of the end zone.
Stopped short of the goal line by the Beekmantown defense, and Eagles will take over on down, 1st and 10.
And we have another Beekmantown player injured, but that's the ball game. The big win for Seton Catholic Central Knights. They go 6-0. Today's score, Seton Catholic Central 20, Beekmantown 7.
Right.
It was billed as the Battle of the Undefeated, and we had a great football game out here in Beekmantown today. I wore my red sweater because I was picking Beekmantown. Goose, you thought Seton Catholic would come out on top, and you won out on this one.
Well, Foxy, the Seton Knights, their offense, running the ball, that's what they live and die with. They moved the ball, they kept the ball away from the hands of the Beekmantown Eagles in their big passing game. They won the game 20-7. They're 6-0, in good position to get back to the Super Bowl. That's where they want to go. They beat a very, very good Beekmantown Eagle team. Beekmantown has nothing to be ashamed of.
Great football today. We appreciate you watching Hometown Cable. We'll be back with more in the future. Thank you very much.
You did that to me once.